Okay. Hi there, Ms. Wicked Wolf. Damn it. Come. Hey, Zach. I'm starting to get into a few annoyances on this game. Well, it's nice to have you here, Zach. One of my annoyances with this is Hornet has a pretty short range on her weapon, which wouldn't be such a problem, except there's also contact damage, which as a general rule is not something I much care for. So I don't like how close you need to get to hit an enemy when just touching them hurts. God damn it. This is gonna take a few goes. My day is going fine. Oh God. Got a lot to try and get done today, for sure. I mean, here's my favorite way for that to be handled, Seltza. Like some games where I think contact damage works. I think it works in Mario because that's all based on platforming. So like, the idea is you're supposed to jump on these things' heads, but like if it touches you differently than that, fine, it makes sense. Where it gets annoying is when you have to get close to them and it takes like a specific attack like this does. There's some instances, I can't remember which game it was. There was a game I played not too long ago that I really liked how it handled it, which basically amounted to, there were some enemies that were basically just roving wildlife. They had contact damage, but like things with weapons that you had to really spar with they didn't. They only hurt you if they hit you with the weapon. So, like, that's my ideal as far as that goes. So I'm not going to say contact damage never works. I am going to say that it tends to irritate me. And that is combined with the fact that this game doesn't really have a proper dodge, and there is a much higher emphasis on parrying, which I've talked about elsewhere. I don't really like parrying as a mechanic, definitely not compared to a dodge. I would much rather have a dodge than a parry. While listening to the last video, it occurred to me saying, we should have the confidence of a mediocre white guy. We should say we should have the confidence of mediocre AI. Except mediocre AI is a redundant phrase. Okay. God damn it! Like, I have to get so freaking close to this thing. And it is both firing stuff that hurts me and touching it hurts me. Damn it. Oh, piss off. Shit. Hey, Tarand, good to see you. I constantly go back and forth on how I feel about contact damage. Sometimes it feels like a fun challenge that's difficult, but has a clear path. Other times, like when mobs appear, I want to die. You know, I think, now that I'm thinking of it, I think it was Sunder was the one that had, like, only certain enemies had contact damage. And most of them, they had to actually hit you with their weapon. And, like, especially in a game like this, where even a bunch of the regular enemies can be a big pain in the ass because they effectively turn into duels. Like, that is not particularly fair to find yourself in a duel and someone can hurt you just by touching you, as well as stabbing you. Like, that seems like an unfair advantage. Of course, like, the game is not necessarily trying to be fair. The game is trying to be challenging. And succeeding, though, it does... I haven't decided if it overdoes the challenge, but it is dancing right up to the line. And I haven't even gotten through Chapter 1 yet. So, that's probably not a great sign. I'm mixed parrying. If I was good at it, great, but I'm not. It's a skill issue, but still an issue. But, like, it's a skill issue, but, like, it's a skill issue that what parrying requires of me goes against my natural gaming instinct. So if you want to call that a skill issue, fine. I'm going to call that a 30 years of gaming has trained me to behave a certain way, and parrying clashes with that, and I don't know how to undo that. If that makes sense. Partner says he thinks Hollow Knight would be too hard for me eventually. He knows me and he knows the game. So, Hollow Knight is also a hell of a lot more gradual with its difficulty curve. SilkSong does not waste... You get a very brief welcoming period with SilkSong. God damn it. Fuck. The fact that those things bounce, that's another sort of detail. Like, it fires these things, and they'd be so much more dodgeable if they didn't bounce as well. And also, just the sheer number of hits these things take. Again, including some of the standard enemies, they take so much damage to defeat. It becomes not fun. Come on. Oh, gotcha. Oh. No, that's not where I want to go. Hey, Jen. I watched these to understand the memes on Tumblr. My favorite is I'm noticing a pretty big plot hole in Hollow Knight. Hornet is self-assured badass and very handy with her needle, but in SilkSong, your character totally changed into a fresh idiot who loves jumping into spike pits. That's a funny one. The other day I watched a video essay that talked about how the movie Her reads way more creepy now people are getting infatuated with AI partners. I never got around to seeing that movie. Yeah, Tristan, people still go on Tumblr. I go on there intermittently. I almost never post, but I do browse on occasion. Mostly if I am just like, if my brain is in for crying out loud, give me some stimulation mode, and I, you know, and I'm just kind of floundering to find something. Oh, there's 2 more of these things somewhere? Oh, frickin' great. Ah! Hey, Anita, nice to see you. Damn it! Come on. Anyone here played Nine Souls? I have not played that one yet. That one's on my wish list. I do want to try that one. But no, I haven't tried that yet. Is that a locked door there? I can't remember now. I need to mark it on the map. Actually, hold on. Yeah, okay. Alex, I know you're being cute. I'm removing your comment for needless poking of the bear, and consider that your warning. I know that that was an innocuous statement. Nope, there it is. Goodbye. You need to piss off. I gave you a tiny bit of grace. Now go away. Oh, the game's absolutely stunning. Which is unsurprising. Hollow Knight was a real good-looking game, too. The music's great. Like, there's a lot to like about this game. It's just, you know, the way that it feels to play is not always one of them. Yeah, let that be a reminder, folks. I swing the band hammer pretty liberally around here. Basically every boss hits you for 2 health, even like the first ones you run into, which is something that Hollow Knight bosses didn't start doing until the late game. So yeah, this thing doesn't really mess around. Oh, right. Okay, so I need to mark that on the map. Okay, so that's a locked door. I did, Jen. I didn't know if you wanted me to just publicly say that. I did get it, and I'm excited to try that. That will actually... so, like, when I feel like I need a break from SilkSong, at least as far as streaming goes, I'll probably try and finish up Night in the Woods. But then I do want to get to that, to Strange Antiques, relatively quickly. No. I really hope this spawns more games like it. I've gotten so tired of all the shooter games being popular because I refuse to play them. I mean, like, this is not an atypical game on the indie scene. I mean, it's exceptional in its genre and certainly for its scope and scale. But, like, you can find 2D Metroidvanias, even gorgeous ones, in the indie scene pretty easily. So if all you're finding is shooters, Remy, then you're dealing too much with the AAA gaming space. Like, what's unusual about SilkSong is it has gotten into the conversation in a way indie games rarely do, largely because it had so much length of time building up the hype. So, like, it's in conversation with AAA games, which is a rarity for indies, but, like, if you want more games like this, they are certainly out there. Oh, yeah, I hate that that's the default, Trista, that it's like, oh, top messages. Top decided by who? On what basis? It's ridiculous. And yeah, Trista's referencing the new video on the main channel. If you didn't see a little bit earlier, I put up a video about some recent stuff that came out about OpenAI and ChatGPT. The short version is they have figured out one of the main reasons why their tech lies all the time, or hallucinates is their euphemism. But they they won't fix it. They have a bunch of reasons not to. So if you want to see me go off on that and explain it, yeah, that's on the main channel. Good, I can. You do. All right, Jen. Does the I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream game follow the same plot as the book? Basically, yes. 255. It has multiple endings, but it is the same story. The main thing that was done with it was, and they actually brought Harlan Ellison in to work on the game, was that they fleshed out the characters further so that there could be extended backs. Whoa, damn it! So there could be extended backstory sections for each of them to pad out the gameplay. So yeah, it's pretty close. Never played Night in the Woods, but heard good things. It was interesting to follow up, and heard the sad news that it wouldn't be happening. Oh, that's a shame. I hadn't heard anything about that. God damn it. God damn it, man. Get down here. Get down. Oh, I know they exist. I just want more. I mean, like, the thing is, there are lots. Like, the downside of indie games is it's arguably an oversaturated market because the point of entry has gotten a lot easier. Ah, fuck. So like there's a lot of great Metroidvania action games like this out there. Like Metroidvania is one of my personal favorite subgenres, so I've played a fair few that I can recommend. Ah, get away from me. God damn it. God, mother. Nice one, Dharma. I like games where I can sneak up and stab you. Yeah, stealth games. That's not necessarily my genre, especially because I'm kind of limited to 2D games the vast majority of the time. Oh, a while back you played Oxenfree. Did you ever play the sequel? I have not played the sequel. I think my main hesitation on that is Oxenfree itself just felt very, very fresh with how it approached what it was doing. And when a game does that, it can be hard for me to go to its sequel sometimes. Sorry, give me a second. Partially because like part of what I liked about it was like feeling how fresh it was and not being sure where it was going, or like really feeling a sense of newness from the mechanics. And a sequel to that same game can't give me that. Like to paraphrase something that Innuendo Studios said about Life is Strange, part of what was great about the first game was that it was like nothing I'd ever played before. If I played the sequel, it would be at least like one other thing I've played before. You know, that's kind of the feeling I get left with. Now, that's not to say that the sequels aren't worth playing or anything like that. It's just I don't always feel the pressing need to play sequels to games that I liked. It kind of depends on what it was I liked about them. Something like Oxenfree, it is stuff like the atmosphere and the way the dialogue is handled and stuff like that. It's all just really wonderfully done, and it felt really fresh, and it can't feel that fresh again. You know what I mean? I like puzzle games or point-and-click games. I like those as well. I need to be in the right mood, but I am fond of narrative-driven games like that. I do at least like in this, dang it, that the hazards are harmful to the enemies most of the time. There are exceptions, but most of the time. All right, that one's locked. Right. Right. Would you mind all the sexual tension nonsense in Battlestar Galactica if the writers weren't operating on a monogamous mindset where true casual sex doesn't exist? Would I mind it as much? No. Would I still mind it? Probably, because it's still not what I'm there for. But I'd at least appreciate it for being a different way of handling that kind of thing. But would I actually like it? No. Would I prefer it? Yeah, probably. Right, I don't have a map for this part yet. I also feel like some of the enemies in this game should be single hit. Like, hit them once and they're gone enemies. Like, I feel like those little flies, like the one that came down, that should have been a single hit enemy. Like, it's a hazard that I can deal with. Okay. It's a hazard I can deal with, but if I miss it, it becomes a complication in a more complicated fight with something tougher. Like, I'm down for that, but like when even what feel like really basic starting enemies take 3 or 4 hits, and I'm trying to deal with them at the same frickin' time as I am dealing with, you know, something that is more like a duel because it's closer to being on my level, that is where it starts to really toe the line between stimulating challenge and aggravating or punishing challenge. It is a hard balance to strike. God damn. Fuck you. Ah, shit. God damn it. Fuck. God. Yeah, Night in the Woods follow-up, it was canceled because the developers basically shut down the studio due to health issues. Oh no! Small team, so losing a couple of developers is a huge loss. That is, like, small dev teams can be really wonderful things, but that is kind of the... I hate those things. But that is kind of the inherent downside to them, is that you are lacking in the safety that comes from a certain amount of redundancy and having more than one person who can do, you know, the job. When you're fully dependent on, you know, one person to handle all the coding and one person to handle all the art, which, like, say, for instance, Team Cherry, the team who made this game, were, then, like, that is a wonderful, you know, expression of unique and purified artistic intents from the people involved. But at the same time, like, if you lose somebody, you're screwed. Like, if one of the 2 primary members of Team Cherry had a health issue, that would have been it. The game just never would have happened. Or there's a game I rather like that is difficult for me to describe without getting in trouble on a platform like YouTube. There's a game called Cloud Meadow that I quite like, and it actually sort of rose from the ashes of a game before it, because it was an indie game, and the arrangement that was had was that the artist actually retained the rights to his art. So when the lead program, well, it depends on who you ask. Here's what I can tell you definitively happened. The artist left the project and took the art assets with him. And the programmer, rather than finding a new artist and starting over, just scrapped the entire project. Now, they both have very different sides to the story of why it was that happened, and I know who I am more inclined to believe between the 2 of them. But anyways, it happens. Yeah, it happens with smaller projects. Fuck. Thanks for stopping in, Jen. I appreciate it. Just annoys me, like in that scene where Starbucks says she just wants a meaningless hookup with Apollo. It's taken for granted she can't possibly really mean that. Or even if she does, the sex would necessarily have to take an extra dimensional weight regardless. Cloud Meadow, Dharma. I've mentioned it before. And I am going to do a video on that, like a deep dive on it one of these days. Maybe when it gets a 1.0 release. But yeah, no, I agree with that 255. The standard operating assumptions of the writers, and not just of that show, of most shows, is that meaningless sex, if it is possible at all, is unhealthy. Well, I say meaningless. Meaningless sex actually is. So let me rephrase that. People who come at storytelling from that perspective believe that sex without a deeper emotional connection is meaningless sex. Meaningless sex is, here we go, is unhealthy for those who engage with it. And therefore, if a character is trying to engage in quote-unquote meaningless sex, it is either them like trying to hide from their feelings and denying their true emotions, or it's a sign that they're like just in a bad place. You know, kind of like how it might treat a character getting, starting to drink too much, which is, irritating. As somebody who has extremely different views on sex than those assumptions lead to, yeah. Team Cherry's such a small team. With how big the world of SilkSong is, it's no wonder it took such a long time to make. Would have been made even worse if we never got SilkSong made. Agreed. Like, there is a reason that this game took 6 years. It is effectively a two-person team. And they... Whoa. Fuck. And they effectively had enough income from Hollow Knight to be able to take as long as they wanted with this game. So, like, it took 6 years because there was no reason that they couldn't take that much time. Or longer. Right, the spicy Digimon game. Yeah, kinda. That's a good short summation, Dharma. I really want to do like a main channel video about that game, about the game itself, but also the development history on it, cause it's fascinating. Hey, Amy, good to see you. Piss off. God damn it. Oh, fuck you. God, I hate contact damage so much. Go to hell. And now I'm stuck taking on this damn thing in worse shape than I was, or I go back and save and just have to redo that little trek again. Oh, that's irritating. Fuck you! God damn it! This fucking thing. I mean, part of the other problem with this is this game, at least for me to be able to get anywhere in it, shit! Pretty much demands a hit and run attack style with enemies like this, and I don't like doing that. I like getting stuck in. I like getting stuck in, getting multiple hits off before having to back off and retreat. But with this, it honestly, 2 hits if I'm lucky, and then I need to book it because I'm about to get my ass handed to me. Oh, fuck you! Is James Gunn his own enemy? I have no idea where that question came from or what context is being asked in, so I don't know how to address it. The runbacks in this game are crazy. Yeah, there's that too. For folks who don't know, the runback is like getting back to where you were before, especially with fights like these. There are sometimes obnoxiously long and difficult runbacks from difficult points that it is very likely you are going to lose a chunk of your health just trying to get back to the fight you just lost. Which, again, is kind of bullshit. Wah-ha-ha! Ah, fuck! Shit! Yeah, not only do these frickin' things bounce, they explode. Which... Ah! You're welcome, Austin. Claimed I meant in terms of his writing. I mean, depends on your taste. He has a couple of writing instincts that aren't to my personal taste, but that doesn't make them bad writing instincts. It just makes them, you know, not what I'd prefer from the man. But that's, you know, that's not the same thing. I mean, if we're being honest, every writer is their own worst enemy. Like if we're gonna really get down to it. I'm glad you're speaking, both as I love hearing your thoughts on anything, and as my parents, just hearing the effort grunts will probably be quite concerned. Oh, Jesus. And another design decision I don't really care for is I virtually never use my skills and I rarely use my tools. Because the skills pull from the exact same, I know it's Silk in this game, but effectively mana pool that my heal pulls from. And I'm gonna need my heal basically in every freaking fight. So I never use my skills because they drain my ability to heal. And I almost never use the tools because they do piddly chip damage. So they're not really freaking helpful. So, yeah, I might have to break from this and, like, switch to Hollow Knight just to feel less irritated. I don't like when they use CGI for dead people, but I don't get an opinion. I don't know why you don't get an opinion. I don't like that either, Trista. I love gun style, but DC is going to require some switch up even with the titles he does himself. I mean, we'll see what he does. Okay. Shit. God damn it. Fuck you. God! Fuck you. Oh, god damn. Fuck. Okay, we're gonna switch games, cause goddamn, man. I don't mean I don't get an opinion. I mean filmmakers are gonna use whoever they want. I mean, with the studio's approval, like, you need to understand that's expensive to do. At least at present it is. So we are gonna switch games because I am getting too heated about that. You know what? We're going to start a new game. That's what we're going to do. No, classic, please. Good grief. Piss off. In wilds beyond, they speak your name with reverence and regret. For none could tame our savage souls, and yet you the challenge met. Under palest watch you taught, we changed, basic instincts were redeemed, a world you gave to bug and beast as they had never dreamed. See, the thing is, Dharma, I have not got... Once I was past the first 5 hours or so, I don't think I've gotten very long stretches between when I had to walk away from SilkSong, which is breaking up the experience a bit more than I think is wise. I haven't changed it, Trista. I can. There we go. Change the title. See, now I got to get used to Hollow Knight though, because I don't grip. I have a higher jump now, but I don't grip the edge of ledges anymore. Higher beings, these words are for you alone. Your great strength marks you amongst us. Focus your soul, and you shall achieve feats of which others can only dream. See, 2 hits, gone. Way more reasonable than the starting base level of 3 or 4 hits that SilkSong has you do. Again, like, you can really tell that SilkSong began its development as the extra hard style of DLC. Like the kind of DLC that is meant to be approached with the mentality of, oh, you beat every single challenge, including the secret ones in our base game, and now you're going, oh, that wasn't that hard, was it? Well, how about this? Like, that's just the mentality SilkSong was developed in. And that's fair enough, but it does make it the kind of thing where, you know, if it was DLC, I don't know, maybe I would have given it a pass, because that can be a lot. Vera ASMR keyboard tapping. Oh, right. Temp hit points. Boy, it's been a long time since I played this one. Whoa. Oh, shit. I did not notice the spikes. I have been told I have a good voice for a fair few number of things. Just kind of depends what aspects of my voice just get a good reaction from you. All right. Beyond this point, you enter the land of King and Creator. Step across this threshold and obey our laws. Bear witness to the last and only civilization, the eternal kingdom, Hollow Nest. Uh-huh, sure you will, Dharma. Behave. Oh, traveler. I'm afraid there's only me left to offer welcome. Our town's fallen quiet, you see. The other residents, they all disappeared, headed down that well, one by one, into the caverns below. Used to be there was a great kingdom beneath our town. It's long fell to ruin, yet it still draws folks to its depths. Wealth, glory, enlightenment, the darkness seems to promise all things. I'm sure you too seek your dreams down there. Well, watch out. It's a sickly air that fills that place. Creatures turn mad, and travelers are lost of their memories. Perhaps dreams aren't such great things after all. For all your mapping supplies, we will be open soon. Oof. Forgotten Crossroads. Make Dharma. I'll not be indulging bratting today. So, behave. It is a great game, Zach. Yeah, SilkSong was starting to get me worked up to the point of not being fun. Temple of the Black Egg. Hello there. How delightful to meet another traveler on these forgotten roads. You're a short one, but you've a strong look about you. I'm Quirrell. I have something of an obsession with uncharted places. This ancient kingdom holds many fascinating mysteries, and one of the most intriguing of them is standing right before us. Some great stone egg lying in the corpse of an ancient kingdom, and this egg is warm. It certainly gives off a unique air. Can it be opened? There are strange marks all over it. I do so love a mystery. Who knows what other marvels lie even deeper below us? That's better, Dharma. SilkSong's an easy game to rage over. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is. And, like, again, there's a very fine balance to be struck between a game where I have to replay the same section over and over, but I feel like it's totally doable and a reasonable challenge. I just need to, like, master it. Like, that's something that, like, say, Sundered does very well, and I think, to my memory at least, the original Hollow Knight. Whereas SilkSong, the idea of going back and trying a lot of these fights again after I lose, just the idea feels more draining. It's like, oh god, again. Whereas, like, when you've struck the balance, whoa, when you've struck the balance really well, shit. I forgot I don't have a dash yet. I kept trying to dash. But when you strike the balance really well, then being defeated by someone should leave you going, okay, I can totally take this one. I just need another try, and I just need to tighten up a little bit. I just need to watch out for this one thing. But when I come away from losing a fight feeling like, how the hell am I supposed to deal with all this? Then to me, you've tipped it over into a less stimulating challenge and more irritation. But, you know. There it is. Pardon me. Like, what do people think they accomplished with that? I legit don't understand. How is that a fulfilling use of your time? Like, I just do not understand at all. I like the sound design in this, and actually both these games. I should be saying plural now. Yeah, Zach. I legit don't understand. It's one of those things that I don't understand what the appeal of what you're doing even is. Like, why is that something that appeals to you? I don't get it. You know what's the only thing from AI I wish could become widespread? I think natural language interaction with computers is good. Like, I think it's good if they integrate something in programs like Photoshop where you just describe what you want and it walks you through it. I mean, possibly, except, like, the way it's all being designed is that it just does it for you. Because what you're talking about wanting is something that is basically a chat bot that can walk you through instructions for you to be able to do a thing yourself. But, of course, they leapt 5 stages past that to it'll just do it all for you, which I find no use in. And while I'm not going to debate that what you just described could be an interesting use case, I don't think that would ever be able to or allowed to exist on its own. I think most people depending on, like, because what you're describing is only helpful for people who want a sense of artistic progression and fulfillment and want to just know how to do it themselves. What they want is an instructor. But that's not how most people are using AI, and that's not how it's being sold, and that's not the basis by which it's being overvaluated. So I get it, but like, we can't have that and not have all the other BS that's going on. So yeah, like, again, in theory, on paper, there are use cases for AI that are not the worst thing in the world. I continue to argue that none of them are worth everything else that's happening. And that will continue to be my position, I think, pretty much regardless. As part of our queer Discord gaming group, we that got ruined by trolls messing up our game of Among Us and spammed messed up stuff in the messages. Ugh. Yikes. Yeah. This game makes me miss the Dark Crystal. It does have, especially the TV show. It kind of has the energy of the TV show, I think. A little bit more than the movie. Ooh, map guy. Hello there. Come down to explore these beautiful old ruins? Don't mind me. I have a fondness for exploring myself. Getting lost, finding your way again, is a pleasure like no other. We're exquisitely lucky, you and I. I'm a cartographer by trade. I'm working on mapping this area right now. Would you like to buy a copy of my work so far? Yes, please. Map can be a useful thing, but it alone won't show you where you are. If you've not the head for direction, I suggest purchasing a compass from my wife. She's just now opening our new shop in Dirtmouth, selling all sorts of useful things to wanderers like yourself. She'll even sell some of my old maps from time to time. I pop back to see her whenever I finish mapping an area. She's always so excited to see me. Okay. I'm on the line with AI because in the right hand, scientific, etc., it could do great things, but it's like public and also cops and military stuff are getting it. It's terrible. Like, again, there are uses that could have been valid. Mass adoption is what it requires to be economically viable. Like, here's the core fundamental problem with AI. And, well, by extension, the problem with our capitalistic system, because the two are intermeshed. For AI to be truly useful, it requires so much building and so much money and resources poured into it that you cannot make it for limited uses like programming, coding, or scientific application, because those markets aren't big enough to sustain the expense of building it. So the only way to make your money back from having built and maintained the thing is to have it go public and install it in as many places as possible, even though the public probably shouldn't have its hands on this. I mean, I'd argue it maybe shouldn't exist at all, but a big chunk of the public probably shouldn't have their hands on it, and it definitely shouldn't be installed in a bunch of the places where it's starting to be installed at, but they have to recoup their investment that they sunk into it, which they had to sink into it to even get it to the point where it was even vaguely viable as a useful tool. Notice the vicious cycle that all this creates. Did I mention I won a shark stuffy at a raffle during the local trans support meeting? No, I didn't know that, Dharma. That's delightful. Right, these things. Sorry, I know you already talk about AI a lot. I mean, I do, but it's because it's an ongoing problem. But yeah, like, again, I'm never going to argue that there is zero application where it could be useful or potentially do some good. I am going to argue that there is zero application where what damage it's causing is worth, you know, what we get out of it. And that's not even, and that's just, you know, talking about the environmental and logistical impact of stuff. That's not even getting into all the horrible ways it can be misused. Like, oh boy. All right, this is as close to politics as I want to get on this stream, but I'm just going to say it. I feel like we are at risk of AI being treated the same way as guns are treated in this country, which is that it's not that there are no uses for it, but it really should be carefully restricted in how it is used and who is allowed to use it and in what ways. But instead, we're just going to let everybody get their hands on it and cause a lot of damage with it. So. Hey there, Haga. Ooh, hello. Come here. Dang it. Shit. There we go. Basically, the entire incentive structure for AI needs to change before any theoretical benefits can manifest. It sucks. Yeah, but unfortunately, the incentive structure for AI is capitalism. Like, it just is. It is unfettered, unregulated capitalism is the incentives. So it's not just a matter of, you know, getting things dealt with AI. It's the core fundamental reasons it's so damaging and destructive are the same reasons that most things in a capitalistic society are damaging and destructive. Okay, we got to get off that topic because it is getting to the point where I can't touch politics. I can't touch that and not end up in politics. So we got to move on. Well, that's another thing. Hollow Knight versus SilkSong. The downward attack, you bounce off the enemies more in Hollow Knight, which means that it kind of gets you clear of their next attack if and when you do it correctly. Whereas in SilkSong, it doesn't bounce you very much at all, which means you get a hit in, but then you're basically just right there. I think a bit about the culture where a composer asks a mind if it could copy a style. Basically said, yes, but that'd be rude and people would always prefer the real thing. Yeah, in a post-scarcity utopia, maybe. Yeah, again. Don't disagree. Which 3 incarnations of the Master would you have recreate the opening of the Ark of the Covenant, and which would get respective death? So I'm trying to wrap my head around that question, Rowan. That is an interesting thing you are having me ponder. Oh. Goddamn. So, like, if I'm understanding your question correctly, you're asking me which 3 incarnations of the Master I think deserve the gruesome death that comes with opening the Ark of the Covenant? Is that what I'm being asked? I think that's what I'm being asked. Love the way they complement HK's darkness with the brighter yet still dangerous world of SilkSong. Oh yeah, design-wise, it's a really fascinating contrast. And the tone of the music is distinctly different as well. Like, oh shit. The aesthetic choices made in SilkSong are pretty much impeccable. Oh, damn it. I forgot about that. Second phase nonsense. Oh, damn. Come on. Oh, come on. Oh! So that puts me there. So what's over this way? Basically, which one's head explode, which would melt, and which would shrivel up. I don't... for some reason, my brain just doesn't want to parse that question. Like, I get what you're asking. I don't know. I'm not in the headspace for that one. I don't know how else to explain that. Whereas Hollow Knight feels like we're walking around the corpse of a kingdom, SilkSong is constantly surrounded with life and color. Yeah, like, again, the aesthetic choices made are incredible. Like, my complaints are pretty much all just, you know, the nuts and bolts gameplay. Sorry I missed you. If you're feeling lost, why not pop up to our store in Dirtmouth? Purchase a map of this area. Available now for an excellent price. I already bought the map. It's the compass I need. What's my favorite narrative trope? If you have one, I must admit I do love enemies to lovers like myself. I don't think I have a favorite trope. I mean, I love a good heist. I love a poker scene. But, I don't know. Tropes, I don't necessarily have a favorite on that. Or at least not that I can think of off the top of my head. Not that stands out above others I like anyway. Oh no! Who is that creeping out of the darkness? My, you're looking grim, strange, empty face. Wicked-looking weapon. Something important has drawn you down into Hollownest's corpse. But I won't ask that. Perhaps the reason you found me is because you need my help? Say no more, friend. I'm going to give you a gift. A nasty little spell of my own creation. It's just perfect for a little one like you. Consumed the vengeful spirit. Oh no! You've woken at last. I apologize. Perhaps I should have warned you about the power of that spell. I was watching over you as you slept, but you seem to have slipped away myself. Now you're awake. I was wondering whether you would do me a small favor. Not as repayment for my gift, of course, simply because we're now friends. You see, a horrid great beast made its home in the heart of this temple. Such disrespect. I would be quite grateful if you were to venture deeper and slay it for me. It's a hardy creature, but with your new power, you're more than a match for it. Good luck with this small favor, my friend. Oh. Mad scientists, they can be fun. I think my patience for mad scientists as a trope kind of depends on the specifics. As we live in a very anti-intellectual age, there's a certain way mad scientists are sometimes done that seems to largely just imply, oh, well, learning too much makes you mad. I'm like, oh, go to hell. That's not to say I'm totally turned off of the mad scientist trope, but it can go in some directions that I find gross. You know what I mean? The hazard is never knowledge. The hazard is obsession. Or at least that's what it should be. Would you give a friend permission to CGI you into a movie after you die? Like, suppose you were dying and Jessie asked for permission to CG you into any future movie she makes. She would know better than to ask me that, and no, absolutely not. What kind of weirdo waits in a dark tunnel for some random person, give them a weird power, and then go, now kill this thing? A video game weirdo. Naturally. Like Dr. Hojo from Final Fantasy VII? Yeah, sort of. It's been a long time since I've replayed that one, so... Everyone in Hollow Nest has to be a little weird. Yeah. Yeah. Soul Catcher. Equip a charm to activate its abilities. Charms are activated at benches. Oh, so you're done. You've slain the beast. The poor thing. He must have been terrified of you. It used to be quite docile, but the rancid air in these caves filled it with some ancient rage. Still, you did what had to be done. You have my gratitude. Of course, we both know you wouldn't have made it through without that spell of mine. Oh, jerk. And look, the gate between us is opened. I'm sure you're eager to move on. Farewell and have faith. Whatever you are seeking, it will find you. Oh. Why do you hesitate? You'll get nothing more from me, I'm afraid. Though I do admire your persistence. Oh. Also, I assume Jesse has more artistic integrity. Yeah, I would certainly like to think so. Would any of the scientists in Alien Earth count as mad scientists? I haven't watched the latest episode, so no spoilers, please. Not to my way of thinking, no. No. Like, some are kind of, like, on the border, but by and large, no. I'm not mad. I'm an angry scientist. Does anybody know what that's from? Ah, nuts. Mer. Well done, 255. Full title, Sheep in the Big City.
Bafanada.
Bafanada. Come to buy a map, have you? It's really my husband you should be dealing with, but what a surprise. He's headed down below. He'll pop back occasionally to deliver new maps for the store, but I do wish he'd spend a little more time up here. I've not much interest in retail myself. Now let's see what's here for me to sell. I always enjoy versions of the Doctor tinkering around with and fixing things. I always like that too, Amy, personally. Sci-fi novel I'm reading at the moment has a really good justification for the main character being familiar with like half a dozen technical and scientific specialties. That is a trope I don't love, the all-purpose scientist. But anyway, she was the captain's PA before the ship crashed, so she had to understand a little bit of what everyone under him does, so she could put their reports in terms he understands. See, that is a decent justification. Oh, wait a minute. Is the compass something I have to equip? It is, isn't it? There we go. "13 needed more of that." Yeah, I agree. I would have liked, especially because like it starts with her building her own Sonic, so it really kind of felt like they were going to set her up as more of a tinkerer, and that never really manifested, which is a shame because it's something I'd like to see and would like to see more of from the Doctor in any number of incarnations. I love that it doesn't even explain to you that when you free these things, they end up back here. You just kind of get that. Yeah, I know Del Toro's thing is that humans are the actual monsters, but in the case of Frankenstein, the creature will lose any sympathy after he kills Victor's kid brother. I mean, it depends on whether they keep that plot point. Not every version of Frankenstein does. Like, I watched recently a 70s version of Frankenstein where Victor's brother dying was like almost like a pre-inciting incident. That happened well before the creature was created, and it happened because, well, why it happened didn't matter, but when it happened, it sort of set off Victor's obsession with trying to conquer death. So, like, you can tinker with that, for sure. Travelers of hollowness descend through verdant wilds and fungal groves to the city at the kingdom's heart. There are wishes, all wishes shall be granted, all truths revealed. Oh, damn it. Ah, fuck. And, like, the other thing is the 13th Doctor looked really great with those workers' goggles on. That was a great look for her. I've seen it more in cosplay than we saw it on the show, which, again, just kind of feels like a shame. Frankenstein is one of those stories that I think is worth retelling. There are some stories that get retold a lot that I don't think there's ever a reason to stop retelling them, because there's like enough wiggle room to put your own spin on it or new angles to approach it from that just, it should never go away. And I do consider Frankenstein to be one of those stories. Ooh. Those damn things. Forgot about those. And Capaldi's fit at the start. Yeah, she did look really good in Capaldi's clothes, especially when they were kind of torn up. That was a good look for her, too. I wouldn't be surprised if it exists somewhere, Kira, as a knockoff, if nothing else. Unauthorized. Music in this series is great. Map updated. How we do? Oh, I don't have a map for this area. The map was updated for the area I came from, not that I am in. I remember Yahtzee Croshaw pointing out the sort of silliness of the way the map system here works, at least in terms of logistics. You don't have a map for the area until you buy a map from the map guy, but even then, it's only partially filled in, and you have to fill in the rest yourself. You couldn't have just done that from the beginning? Effectively, what you've bought is a piece of paper. You couldn't have brought one? Scrolled it on the wrapper of your breakfast burrito? Hornet! There she is. I forget how much bigger than Hollow Knight she is. There's a queer retelling called Adam Mine coming next year. I'm excited for it. Yeah. Cool. I'm here for it. And like, understand, they're not all good. There's plenty of bad interpretations of Frankenstein, but again, it's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, go for it. Do your own thing with it. One of the other survivors mentioned to her they assumed she was only there because the captain was sleeping with her because they didn't realize she was basically doing his job. That was kind of nice that they tackled that assumption. There are legitimately some bosses out there that are only as good as their assistants. The noise they make is almost a sigh of relief. That's actually a workable interpretation, since a lot of there's like the little creatures that live down here, like these things. But then there was things like the thing I just took out, the one that sighed, which canonically in universe are like residents of the town above who came down here looking for something and just lost themselves. So I think a sigh is a perfectly viable interpretation of that sound. Ugh, just hope Stephen Moffat does decide to do his own version. I was not impressed in the slightest with his take on Dracula. I liked the first two parts of his Dracula, honestly. The third part was kind of a, what are we doing here, dude? But I liked the first two parts, actually a fair bit. I didn't like his take on Hyde, on Jekyll and Hyde, as much, though. Like, there are moments I like from that, but on the whole, I didn't super enjoy that one. It felt like, I think, like, people will point to stuff like Sherlock and some of his Doctor Who episodes. I actually think I would point to Jekyll as my go-to example for Moffat indulging in his own tastes at the expense of story. I think Jekyll would be the thing I would point to as the best example of that. And there was I, Frankenstein. I never saw that one. That was the one with Aaron Eckhart, wasn't it? What are they, Haga? I actually can't see them from my side. I feel like this is going to be how I play SilkSong. I'm going to play SilkSong until I get irritated with it, and then play Hollow Knight for a bit to unwind. I have a feeling this is going to be how I progress through SilkSong. Oh, crap. Ooh, that's a voice. Tiny squib, you approach fearless. Are you a hunter like me? Do you feel the urge inside to talk, to stalk, to talk? No, to stalk, to kill, to understand? Then take it, my journal. It will aid you. At first, the text may seem difficult to discern, but a learned hunter will come to understand its words. Venture the depths of this land and slay its beast. Prove yourself worthy to bear the mark of hunter. Okay. Taking the hunter's journal. Basically normal ads, but split screen with your gameplay content rather than replacing it for however long they run. Oh! Huh. Interesting. I'm stuck in SilkSong trying to get the double jump ability. I'm halfway there, but I can't go back, but moving forward is very difficult for me. Yeah, it does... Like, that is another one of the annoyances with SilkSong that I didn't bring up when I was that I haven't brought up yet, which is that, in theory, part of the appeal of a Metroidvania is that if you are stuck on an area, you leave it to go to another one and, like, see if you can find stuff there that is helpful. SilkSong has a number of points where it doesn't really let you go back, and you kind of have to push your way forward through very difficult stuff, and it feels like it's railroading you with difficulty, because the ability to backtrack and choose to try and do something else, or at least look around and get more collectibles and hopefully find something that'll help and make things a little easier, is one of the core appeals of a Metroidvania. But so, you know, getting railroaded into a difficult section that it won't let you do anything else until you beat this bit is not only not especially fun, it's kind of against the spirit of the genre, if we are being honest. I went up here, didn't I? Yes, I did that. Ooh, I missed that. Thank you. You know what I wish people wouldn't do when adapting old sci-fi novels? Make the setting more in line with how real-world technology developed after the book was written. Like, I think if a sci-fi book was written in the 50s, its adaptation should have retro-futurist tech, because that's what the author would have had in their minds when they wrote it. I mean, it depends on the nature of the sci-fi story. Some sci-fi stories are firmly about the specifics of the tech. Whoa. But not all of them are. Some sci-fi stories are just using the tech as a way to explore certain ideas. And if you can come up with a more current piece of tech that still lets you explore those same ideas, I think that's valid. where it goes off the rails is where the tech is really like, this is why every adaptation of The Time Machine, H.G. Wells' The Time Machine, has been a period piece. It kind of needs to be to function without a full ground-up rewrite. Those who stray from the White King's Road shall face the law of Oh no, not the law of Are You Afraid of the Dark Universe podcast did awesome retelling of Universal Monsters Frankenstein, included in Super Queer. Oh, that's nice context. I like that. Didn't the developers playtest SilkSong? Those guys are masochists, I swear. I'm sure they did, but like the entire development ethos, I talked about this before, the entire development ethos was that it was made with the mentality of the harder DLC for the people who had completely mastered 100% of the base game. Like, that is the entire design mentality of the thing. And there isn't really a way around that. Once you've opted for it as a way of going about it. So, did they playtest it? I'm sure they did, but like they wanted it to feel difficult. They wanted it to be punishing, and it is. Like that's just kind of it. It is exactly what they designed it to be. So. And like, to be clear, I'm not thinking... I don't have a problem with it being harder than Hollow Knight, and I think... Whoa, damn. I think even some of the specific decisions in regards to that are fair. It's just... it feels like it's building directly off of end-game level difficulty of Hollow Knight. I think my ideal would have been more in line with, okay, this is going to eventually get harder than the hardest stuff in Hollow Knight, but at least to start out with, it's going to be as hard as, like, the mid-game stuff in Hollow Knight. That would have been the balance I would have personally preferred. But, you know, they did their own thing. The Bride of Frankenstein is always... the best version, fight me. To each their own. I don't even know if I have a preferred version of Frankenstein. Frankenstein's a little bit like Sherlock Holmes to me in that way. Like, I adore it. I appreciate that there will always be new adaptations of it. I don't want them to ever stop. But I also don't have a definitive favorite. Just because what's good about some is different from what's good about others, and I don't think any have actually been my platonic ideal. Fun fact, both Brigadiers have been in stage productions of Rocky Horror. Angela Bruce was the first replacement for Patricia Quinn, and Nicholas Courtney played the narrator. Oh, that's great. I love that. What the hell? All right, let's not go that way quite yet. Let's see what else is over here. Dang it, I didn't see you. Damn. There we go. Anyway, Mary Shelley was queer, so I feel like she owned a queer version of the story too. Was she? Like, she was many things. She was a romantic, and like a fair amount of the romantics were queer. I won't deny that. And like, it would make sense to me. I wouldn't have a problem with that, but like, I do kind of hesitate to like. It's a little bit kind of like the don't read the artist from the art video that I did a little while back. Like, I'm cautious about reading things into writers just because it would be nice if that was true. You know what I mean? Apparently she fell in love with her husband's mistress after he died. I could buy it, again, like, and I'm not trying to start an argument with you, but right now I'm kind of having to take your word on that. I mean, it would make sense. I mean, given, like, kind of the nature of their relationship in a lot of ways, it's believable, I'll give you that, for sure. But, you know, believable is not the same as true. I get back to the bench. All right, map updated. Let me see this thing. Okay. Ah, there was a bit I didn't go through. Okay. Need to go back and check that out then. Cool. Cool. It's like with Hamilton, there are some letters which may imply it, but I guess we'll never know what went on. There is pretty strong evidence on Hamilton, I'd say, especially since we kind of have the letters in both directions. Like, a lot of the quote-unquote debatable queers of history, a lot of them had what could best be described as what appeared to be one-sided or asymmetrical romantic feelings for somebody. Like, this was kind of the Hans Christian Andersen thing, where he fell in love with a guy who did not feel that way about him, and it's debatable with also, say, what's her name? Cripes. Emily Dickinson. Like, there is, at this point, pretty much no denying she had a massive and very sexual crush on her sister-in-law. Whether or not that was requited is hard to say. And when it is only one way, I'm not going to say that that makes it easier to deny. It shouldn't. But it becomes something that makes people more inclined to come up with reasons to not read it that way. So what's interesting with Hamilton is we've kind of got stuff in both directions. Because, yeah, there was his letters to Lawrence, and there were Lawrence's letters to him. So, Do you mean because the plot of The Time Machine is about a Victorian class system? No, I mean more like it kind of has to take place at a time before the notion of time travel was something that was a concept that people would really be engaging with at all. Like, if you set the time machine, H.G. Wells' The Time Machine, in the modern day, the biggest problem would be that it would lose that spirit of just venturing into the unknown, because we as both we as audiences and theoretically the characters within the world they exist would have all these notions and ideas of how time travel is quote unquote supposed to work. And part of how that narrative functions is that the traveler is not burdened with a lot of those preconceptions, and that's kind of how he approaches basically everything he deals with. And I think that spirit would very easily be lost setting anything in the modern day just for the nature of the existence of time travel as a fictional trope. It's kind of like, you know what it's kind of like? It would play kind of like in zombie movies where people are like super doubtful that they're dealing with a zombie outbreak. And if you ever find yourself wondering, do zombie movies not exist in this universe? And the answer usually has to be, well, no, they don't. Because if they did, these people would go, oh, it's zombies like that movie I saw. It's kind of that sort of thing. Okay, now I'm embarrassed. I'm definitely wrong there. Well, you know, props to you for checking and owning up to it. That's more than a lot of people do. So... again, you know, be careful. Just because something sounds believable doesn't mean it is accurate. So always something to be careful of. That is standard confirmation bias. We all do it. It's a very standard thing that people do. So have you ever participated in Widow Krieger's Witch Walk? I have not. I think your pants look hot, Hamilton. Gonna bring up zombie movies and ask why you can't do the same thing. I mean, that's the thing. Until very recently, it was standard for zombie stories to take place in worlds in which zombie movies and zombie fiction appear to not exist. It's only kind of been since things like Shaun of the Dead, where like an acknowledgement of that kind of stuff is allowed to happen at all. But the reason I bring it up in regards to the Time Machine in specific is that it's not just a matter of like the character doesn't know. Like, not knowing is a huge part of what spurs him on, that spirit of exploration. And I think you're going to lose that unless you start like just tinkering with things in a way that just leaves me going, okay, but what are we gaining by updating it? Why can't we just have it be a period movie? You know? It's one of those things where, have you ever found yourself sort of, you know, coming up with an idea and then like, okay, well, it causes this problem. And then you try and fix that, and that causes a different problem. And then you fix that, and like you're fixing problems, and after a while you realize, you know, if I just reverse that initial decision, I wouldn't have to deal with any of this, and maybe it's not worth it. From moss and leaf, our life is drawn, while it grows upon the path, we shall never wilt. Getting with your dead husband's mistress's big titty energy move, just saying. It's a power play, for sure. All right, that's why I couldn't go up there. Now I remember. Do you remember 21st night, September? We're getting close. City you remember. Let's see. Okay. Oh, excuse me. So happy that Kristen Milioti won the Emmy for Penguin. Glad she didn't go away with nothing for her performance. Oh, I haven't even looked up the Emmy winners. Somebody asked me on stream last night, did you watch the Emmys? And I just kind of laughed like, no. What? Why? This is something I can't deal with yet. Also happy for Britt Lower. I love Heliar so much. We'll see what my thoughts are on Severance when we get to a third season. Like, I really liked the first season, and I liked some of the second season. Like, my thing with Severance basically breaks down to there were a lot of ideas introduced in season 1, and the ones that they have chosen to put more focus on in season 2 were not the ones I was most interested in. You know, so like season 1 was like this huge pile of ideas, and then the open question was, which of these are going to be the primary things we focus on, and which are going to be peripheral flavor things that like add a little spice but isn't the main thing we're here for. And they chose to take the things I would like to have been the main dish and turn them into the spice. So yeah, that doesn't make the second season bad. It just makes it frustrating for me, given what I would like to have seen more explored. But that is very much a matter of taste. Oh, hang on, I gotta get the little gay heart of appreciation. Thank you, Dharma. So long, and thanks for all the fish. So sad that it should come to this. Whoop. I want to try and get back to the village before I finish up. The film Robot Dreams uses September to really great effect. I'm not familiar with that one. Like how she played the twist was stellar. Her acting for both Helena and Helly deserve. Like, the performances are all great. There's a lot of really fantastic performances in that show. No argument there. So, like, as far as, you know, Emmys for acting, yeah, cool, go for it. They're really good at what they're doing. But, you know, still just larger scope decisions went in some directions where I'm like, it's not that this is invalid, what you're doing, but you're doing this at the exclusion of the stuff I would rather you do. So. Again, different writers have different priorities, and I've learned the hard way over the years that my own writing instincts and thematic priorities are at least mildly off kilter from most people, including most creatives. It is not an uncommon experience for me to come away from anything, especially if it's a long form piece, like a serialized TV show, and find myself going, you know, when you narrow down your focus for what this was really going to be, you just, I wish you'd focused on other things. Like that general notion and, that general notion and sentiment is pretty common for me, which is part of why, as much as it takes me for frickin' ever, doing my own writing feels very fulfilling, because I'm able to take things in the directions that I would like them to go that I rarely see them taken. You know what I mean? And it's not even like big drastic swings. It's just like, I mean, half of it is avoidance rather than even preference. Half of it is like, okay, it feels like everything does this trope when they tell this story. I'm going to tell this story, but we're not going to do that trope. Like, that's like half of my writing instincts. So, again, I acknowledge fully that I am usually out of step with both the general public and most creators. Not massively, but, you know, just a bit. Cool. All right. We're going to wrap it up there for now. Whoops. And thank you all for joining me. So, I don't know what I'm going to play on Friday. Depending on how frustrated I am with SilkSong, I might go back to Night in the Woods for Friday's gaming stream. And there is a new video up in the main channel right now about AI. You heard me. If you were on the stream for a while, you heard me go off on some of it already. But that's up in the main channel. There'll be a video on this channel later today. Which one is it? Which one is it? Oh, I think it's my review for Thunderbolts. Comes out later today, if I'm remembering correctly. And then Saturday will be a video following up on the demise of The Escapist, which it's sort of a look back a year later because things got weird. So I fell down a rabbit hole on that. So that'll be Saturday's video. I'm still working on editing it. Hopefully by sometime tomorrow, it'll be up for early access for Patreon and YouTube members. And, yeah, that's what's coming up. So thank you very much for joining me. Take care of yourselves. Be well, be safe, and be kind. I'll see you.